Hello everyone, this is Group 1 and today we are going to talk about Nigeria.
Nigeria is the country that has the highest rate of extreme poverty in the world.
Poverty is the state of being extremely poor. It can be caused by bankruptcy, insolvency, and basic economic problems. Poverty has a huge impact on people. It creates overpopulation, fatal diseases, lack of education, and so on. 78% of poor people live in rural areas, plus earning less than we could imagine. It is one of the worst things that could happen to a human being. But how can we help them? By help from the government, the nations, and of course, from us. The more people start to be aware of poverty, the more chances for the local government to take actions to help them. We, as one world-mate, must help each other in any way we possibly can.
Nigeria, a country with a lot of natural resources, has a high rate of economic growth but also has a high rate of poverty at the same time. In the end of 2018, approximately 90.8 million people in Nigeria live in poverty. Scope of problems to be regarded are: first, education. Nigeria has the highest amount of children out of school in the world. The problems are different in the northern part and the southern part of the country. In the north, many of them are not able to access basic education. In the south, schools are lack of facilities and don't have enough space for all children. Second, crime. Nigeria has the rate of crime of 68.12%, which is deemed high. Common crimes occurred are violent armed robberies, kidnap for ransom, and fraud. These are the result of poverty and will contribute to numerous problems, including unemployment and lack of education. Lastly, the problem of health. Nigeria has under-resourced health systems and limited scope of protection. Additionally, people are poor so they cannot afford healthcare services. These lead to health problems in the country.
Even though Nigeria is considered as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, it fails to provide basic needs to the people of the country. This results in nearly half the country lives in poverty, and most of them are located in northern region of the country. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the state of Sokoto has the highest poverty rate, following with Katsina and Adamawa as second and third. These states are located in northern region of Nigeria, along with many other states where people are suffering in poverty. There are five main effects of poverty in Nigeria. Firstly, living conditions and healthcare are extremely poor, since healthcare system in the area is weak. Secondly, poor education system due to decaying infrastructures. Thirdly, as a result of poor healthcare system, mortality rate is extremely high. Furthermore, a lot of child abuse due to many children, especially handicapped, is abandoned. And finally, low income state may lead Nigerians to commit crime like robbing.
As we have seen before, poverty in Nigeria is a serious issue. However, what are the contributing factors that cause 85 million out of 198.5 million Nigerians to live under poverty? There are three broad factors. These include economic, political, and social factors. Firstly, the economic factors include low economic growth, policy failures, macroeconomic disequilibrium, reliance on the oil industry, and a weak labor market. Secondly, the political factors include corruption and poor governance. Thirdly, the social factors comprises of the lack of human resources development and environmental degradation. These are the contributing factors to Nigeria's poverty. They must be addressed by the Nigerian government in order for it to achieve the first SDG of no poverty.
Nigeria development and plan are mainly classified into three phases, consisting of the era of fixed medium-term planning, the era of rolling plan, and the new democratic dispensation. At the beginning of the era of fixed medium-term planning, Nigeria prioritized cultivation of cash crop for exportation. At the time, 50% of resources used in development are imported resources. As a consequence, Nigeria ended up with debt. After the failure of first development plan, Nigeria aimed to develop its economy and standard of living with the benefits and resources gaining from oil. Unfortunately, depression of its economy led to depreciation of oil value. As a result, Nigeria once again ended up with more debt. Soon after the first era of development, structural adjustment program was introduced with aid of World Bank and International Monetary Fund in era of rolling plan to reform Nigeria. After the era of rolling plan, national economic empowerment and development strategy was introduced which encouraged development in different level and area of government and cooperation with private sector.
What feasible actions are likely to significantly ameliorate the poverty? First of all, we need people to get a job. So in order to improve the system, Nigeria's government should redesign all school systems from public to private. Here are some examples of how we can improve the education system. First, help children under the age of 5 to access high-quality education program. Second, focus on recruiting, training, and supporting teachers. Secondly, as rural areas are very different from urban areas in terms of living condition, this creates a diversity between them. So the welfare of laborers is thing that we have to take into account, as the better welfare will make labor stay longer and can work consistently. Lastly, the most important step is to get rid of corruption. It is considered most major problem in Nigeria because it makes all possible solution process harder. So the government should enforce the law on people involving corruption.